A new day is dawning in Boston. A sculpture being unveiled in Boston Common called The Embrace. It was inspired by a photo of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King after he'd been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. What's striking to me about it is, of all of the images that you could have selected, you chose this one.
When they met here, they were people full of dreams, full of ambition,
and
full of hope. And they chose to actually commit those dreams to one another and to society. And that day was like proof that they'd done what it was all worth it.
That's right. The start of the dream is a love story in Boston. King and Scott were students and met on a blind date in 1951. They soon became inseparable and started their journey together toward a cause larger than themselves. For the sculpture, artist Hank Willis Thomas stripped away everything but the embrace.
Not everyone has arms and hands, right? But all of us have been embraced, right? All of us know what it's like to feel embraced.
This work is a collaboration between Thomas and the Mass Design Group. It beat out 125 other design proposals. The sculpture is made up of more than 600 pieces of bronze, welded together at a foundry in Washington State and shipped across the country in 7 pieces, then reassembled. The sculpture sits on a plaza made up of diamond-shaped pieces of granite designed to honor the African-American quilt-making tradition. All around, plaques featuring the names of local Boston civil rights heroes. When you saw it for the first time, fully installed here, what was your reaction?
Oh, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
Amari Paris Jeffries is the executive director of Embrace Boston, which is behind the project. Boston has had a, shall we say, long and complicated relationship with race. How do we hope that this monument helps change that story?
You know, there's about 7 million people that visit Boston Common every year. They might hear a story of patriots, they might hear a story of freedom, and they might stumble across this monument and hear the story of the Kings. This is about understanding Black people's place in this historic city.
The location of the memorial is just steps away from where Dr. King gave a speech before 22,000 people in 1965. Later today, Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King, will be there for the unveiling. When you saw the renderings for the first time, what did you think?
I thought, this is a powerful image. Sometimes we are afraid to embrace, but for Dad and Mom to show us what embracing is, to have a manifestation of what they consistently did. It's that it really is about the manifestation of love. And Dad had, obviously, a love for his wife and family, but he had a love for humanity, and so did Mom.
It's also a reminder of the legendary couple's early years in Boston.
I would imagine it was a sweetness to that time. It wasn't very long after they were married and after they left Boston and settled in Montgomery, and then from there until the end of his life in 1968, it was a very public life.
That bond. Now,
go ahead, Jordan.
I'm sorry, I don't like the statue. I really don't. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think they picked the wrong artist to do all that. But you just heard what he said. Everybody don't have arms or hands. Mostly everybody has arms and hands. What is he talking about? I think they picked the wrong artist. I think they should put an artist that should put Coretta and Martin Luther King, so they show their whole body and hugging each other. We can get all that. They have picked the wrong artist to do that. I don't want to see no arms. Especially for kids, like kids, look at that. Coretta said, "Oh, that's Coretta Scott King and Martin Luther King arms." Really? How would they know that? How would they know that? They should have picked an artist who made it nice and simple. That's it. We don't need to have arms and like no. Pick. Hey, if I was city of Boston, all my Black people, I'll have a petition to take it down and put a new one on there. Cause I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't. If you're gonna do it right, Coretta Scott King and Martin Luther King holding each other so we can see them and smiling. Period. That's my take.
See, the reason why I joined the Hakeem, they can do stuff like that, is because the simple fact they know black people gonna embrace it. That's what people don't understand. Black people gonna embrace it. Mind you, Jordan, you did a beautiful piece right now. What you just said, I agree with you. At the same time, a lot of people gonna disagree with you, and I was talking Hakeem, we might get flooded because the simple fact, black people embrace anything. Anything a person like that do, we automatically get gooey eyes over and think it's heaven's son, and we're gonna embrace it. Oh, we got a beautiful man. And mind you, the number one key thing they're gonna use is Hakeem favorite word, love. Soon as you love, there you go. Support. And mind you, Jordan, keep it in mind, this artist have other pieces he could have used. Why did he choose this one? Because he knew black people were going to embrace it. It doesn't matter. It could have just been a rock on a stick. Black people were going to love it. Because it has something to do with the civil rights, quote unquote, movement. Some people do respect, people don't respect. So at the end of the day, it was a disaster piece. I think it makes us show that black people continue to support idiocy. And we don't want to do better, and we're going to continue to go down this route. Mind you, prime example, dealers, you get what I'm saying? So that's the society we live in today. That's my take.
So funny enough, this touches home because I don't know if the panel know, I've lived in Massachusetts for over 11 years. I know exactly that location, Boston Commons, which is right across the street from State Street, and you have Downtown Crossing on the orange line and the red line. So I'm gonna agree with y'all brothers. At first I didn't know what it was. I thought it was I didn't know what it was. I didn't listen. You didn't know, you couldn't even know if it's for Dr. Martin Luther King. But I just want you to point something out. I'm gonna point something to you. Massachusetts is 90% white. The black population is very small, so they have to hold a certain ideology, and you also got to remember. I don't know if you heard what the person said in the video. He said he went against thousands of people that submitted artwork pieces for this person, and they chose that because you want to know why? Most white folks don't want to walk around seeing black statues in the middle of their white cities. Let's just be honest about it. If you see, this is Massachusetts. Some of the greatest companies are from these places. We talking about, so why couldn't they just build a big statue of Martin Luther King in downtown Boston where some of the most powerful people are? No, that's why they picked the most mediocre design to put up there. So this is just, and I'm always go this, I practice black economics, and I say this, why couldn't we build our own statue in our own hood? We could have got the money together. We could have bought the plot of land. We didn't need to do. We could have built. Listen, if they got a problem with that, let's do one in the middle of the ghetto, on Dr. Martin Luther King Street, not downtown, where it's not going to be appreciated by thousands of visitors every day. They ain't gonna know. They're gonna think it's some regular art pieces. Oh, you see, I just did it right now. Yeah, all I gotta do is just put myself in the mold, and this will be another piece. Does that make me a great artist now? That's my take.
I got one last take for you guys. Take it down. Take it down, please. I don't like it. Take it down. That's my take. Go ahead, guys.
But I think they said they spent over $10 million to put it up. I think that's how much they spent. But people trying to figure out, was it taxpayer money from Boston that paid for it? That's the question. At the end of the day, guys, let us know what you think. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. We do go live each and every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. Let us know what you think about this statue. We over and out. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.